Okay, so you're prepping for this wholesale merchant interview
Hmm.
in agricultural machinery and equipment, and you want to just knock it out of the park, right?
Absolutely.
So we've got all these great resources from RoleCatcher to help make that happen. We've got their career guide, the interview guide, and even some AI tools they offer. So let's just dive in and get you ready to ace this thing.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this role, it's fascinating. It's not just about knowing the machinery, it's about understanding, the business, the
Mhm.
market, the customers. It's kind of this blend of sales and strategy and building relationships.
Yeah, and RoleCatcher's resources really highlight that. So why don't we jump right into some of their sample interview questions? I think that's where the rubber really meets the road. So the first one is such a classic. Can you tell us about your experience in the agricultural machinery and equipment industry?
Ah, yes. So this is your big chance to showcase your passion for this industry, show that you really understand how complex it is. Don't just list off job titles, like weave a story that highlights the skills you have and
Yeah.
the experience you have.
Yeah. So have you worked directly with similar equipment? Do you understand the challenges that farmers face? Maybe you even have a personal connection to agriculture that sparked your interest.
I love that. Bringing in something personal can make you really stand out. And this is where RoleCatcher's AI can be a game changer, honestly. They have this CV or resume builder. It actually scores your application against the keywords in the job description, so you can see exactly what skills you should emphasize.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps you tailor your response to exactly what the hiring manager is looking for. And remember, they want someone who's not just knowledgeable, but passionate
Mhm.
and engaged with this industry.
Right. Okay, so you've nailed that first impression. Now they hit you with, how do you stay up to date with the latest advancements and trends in the industry?
All right, well, don't just say, I read industry magazines. Be specific. Which ones? Do you follow thought leaders online? Have you gone to any industry events or webinars? This shows them that you're constantly learning, that you're staying ahead of the curve.
And think about how advancements actually impact this role, wholesale merchant. So maybe you've been following the rise of precision agriculture and how it's changing how we farm. Or maybe you're interested in how e-commerce platforms are being used to sell machinery.
Yeah.
Right? Connect those trends to the bigger picture. Show them that your learning translates into good insights for the company. So then they get to the real business question. How do you determine the appropriate pricing for agricultural machinery and equipment?
Oof,
Yeah,
that's a big one. This is where your analytical skills come in and your knowledge of the market.
exactly. You're not just pulling numbers out of thin air. They want to see that you have a methodical approach. Talk about your understanding of market research. How do you analyze your competitors? And what factors influence pricing in this industry?
Right, things like commodity prices.
Yep.
Or seasonal demand fluctuations. Even government subsidies can all impact pricing. You really need to show them you understand those economic forces.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't be afraid to get specific. RoleCatcher has this great interview prep tool that actually gives you AI-powered feedback, so it can help you refine your answer. And make sure you're hitting the key points.
It's great. Okay, moving on. Now they're going to test your people skills with this question. How do you manage relationships with both suppliers and customers?
Yeah, so this is about showing you can build strong, lasting relationships, highlight your communication skills, how well you negotiate, your commitment to finding win-win solutions.
It's a balancing act for sure. You need to maintain those good relationships with suppliers so you're getting the best products at the best prices. But you also need to build trust with customers to get those sales and make them loyal.
Right. And how do you handle conflict? Are you a calm negotiator? Do you listen well and try to understand everyone's side? They'll be looking for those things.
For sure. And here's your chance to really show off your experience. Can you give an example of a successful sales strategy you have implemented?
Yeah, this is your time to shine. Pick an example where you had a challenge, developed a strategy, and got measurable results. Quantify your success. Did you increase sales by a certain percentage? Expand into a new market.
Yeah.
Be specific and make sure it's relevant to this wholesale merchant role. And again, RoleCatcher's AI tools can analyze your answer. Make sure it's clear, concise, and impactful.
Awesome. I love it.
All right, let's move on to a question about staying organized. How do you prioritize and manage your workload?
Yeah. In this kind of fast-paced role, they need someone who can handle a lot of things at once.
Yeah.
What's your system? How do you stay on top of it all?
Yeah, well, maybe it's a to-do list, a project management app,
Yeah.
or even a color-coded spreadsheet. Whatever your system is, share it with them. They want to see how you prioritize your tasks, how you meet deadlines, and keep track of everything that's going on.
Right. And things don't always go according to plan. So they want to know you can adapt when things change.
Yeah.
Can you handle the unexpected without, getting flustered?
Exactly. Flexibility is key. Now, this next question is all about how you handle conflict. Can you discuss a time when you had to handle a difficult customer situation?
Oh, yeah, this is a classic. The dreaded behavioral interview question. Everyone's got a story, right? But how do you pick the right one?
Yeah, you want to pick one that shows your strengths. So focus on a situation where you successfully dealt with a tricky customer. What was the challenge? How did you approach it? What was the outcome? And what did you learn from it?
They want to see that you can stay calm, that you empathize with the customer, and that you can find solutions.
Right. It's all about showing your professionalism and your problem-solving skills. Speaking of problem-solving, let's look at this question. Can you explain your experience with logistics and supply chain management?
This is where you really need to understand the practical side of this business. Remember, agricultural machinery isn't like selling something small online. We're talking about coordinating huge shipments of specialized equipment.
Exactly. So talk about your experience with things like coordinating shipments, managing inventory,
Hmm.
or optimizing transportation routes. Did you ever have to deal with a delayed shipment or find a solution to a logistical problem?
hmm Those real-world examples really show that you understand the complexities of getting this equipment where it needs to go.
Exactly. Efficiently and cost effectively. All right. Here's a question you might get if you're going for a leadership position. How do you manage and motivate a sales team?
Okay, so this is about showing your leadership style
Mm-hmm.
and how you inspire others. Are you a collaborative leader? Do you take a more hands-on approach?
Right. Whatever your style is, be ready to give specific examples of how you've motivated a team. Have you used any interesting sales strategies? Did you create a culture that drove results?
Yeah.
Think about what makes you a good leader and how that fits with the company's values. Okay, last question in this set. It focuses on building those long-term relationships. How do you maintain positive relationships with key accounts and customers?
So this builds on that earlier question about relationship management, but it's focused on those really important clients, the ones who can really impact your sales.
Right. It's about going above and beyond, really understanding their needs, and providing that personalized service. Have you ever had to deal with a concern before it became a problem? Or maybe you started a customer loyalty program to get repeat business?
I see.
These are the kinds of things that show you're committed to building those long-term partnerships. You're not just closing deals, you're building relationships for long-term success. Now, before we move on, let's talk more about those AI tools from RoleCatcher. We talked about how their CV builder and interview prep can help you stand out, but let's really break down how they work.
Yeah, I think some people might be wondering, like, how does AI actually help me get ready for an interview? It almost sounds too good to be true.
Well, let's start with that CV builder. It uses some pretty complex algorithms to look at your CV and the job description you're applying for. It then gives your application a score based on how well it matches the keywords and skills in the job posting. And it even highlights areas where you might need to improve.
So it's like having an expert recruiter look over your CV
Yeah.
and give you personalized feedback.
Exactly. It takes the guesswork out of tailoring your application. It helps you show off your skills in a way that recruiters understand. And don't forget those applicant tracking systems. A lot of companies use those now.
Right. That's really helpful. What about the interview prep tool? How does AI work with that?
So their interview prep is designed to be like a real interview. You can type in your answers to common interview questions, and it gives you instant feedback, powered by AI, of course. It looks at things like how clear and concise your answer is, and how relevant it is to the job.
Wow, so it's like having a virtual interview coach.
Exactly. It even analyzes your video recordings. It can give you feedback on your body language and how you speak, so you can really improve how you present yourself and project confidence.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It really does make things more fair. Everyone can get this kind of support now. You don't have to pay for an expensive career coach. Speaking of leveling the playing field, let's look at some career insights from RoleCatcher's guide. I think this can really add some context to your answers and help you show a deeper understanding of the role.
The career guide really dives into what it's like to work in this industry. It talks about the challenges like long hours and tough sales targets, but it also highlights the really rewarding parts.
Right. Like, what are some of those rewarding parts?
Well, one thing is the sense of purpose. You're not just selling machines, you're helping farmers feed the world. I mean, that's a pretty amazing thing to be a part of.
It is, yeah. And you get to work with some incredible technology. Agricultural machinery is always changing. There's so much innovation in automation, precision farming, and data analytics.
It really is an exciting time. Think about GPS-guided tractors, drones that monitor crops, and software that helps optimize planting and harvesting. It's a revolution.
Yeah, it is. The guide really emphasizes product knowledge. It's not enough to just be good at sales. You really need to know this equipment inside and out. So how can someone who doesn't have a technical background learn all that?
You got to be a proactive learner. Immerse yourself in the industry.
Yeah.
Read trade publications, go to conferences, connect with experts. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Most people in this industry love what they do. They're happy to share what they know.
Right. And I bet hands-on experience is super important too.
Absolutely. If you can, visit farms, dealerships, or manufacturing facilities. See the equipment in action.
Yeah, get a feel for how it all works.
Exactly. But remember, technical knowledge isn't everything. You also need good communication skills, negotiation skills, and you have to be able to solve problems.
Right. The guide talks about supply chain management. Why is that so important for this role?
Well, think about it. How do you get a massive combine harvester from the factory to a farm hundreds of miles away? You've got specialized transportation, import-export regulations. There could be delays, disruptions. It's complicated.
Yeah, so it's more than just making the sale. You have to make sure the whole process runs smoothly.
Exactly. You got to be able to anticipate problems, communicate clearly, find solutions.
And the guide mentions international opportunities. That sounds pretty cool.
It is. Agriculture is a global industry. As a wholesale merchant, you might travel to other countries, learn about different farming practices, and build relationships with people all over the world.
Wow.
It's a chance to really expand your horizons.
So what does all this mean for you, the listener? You're not just getting ready for an interview, you're getting ready for a really rewarding career.
And remember, you've got tools to help you. RoleCatcher's AI can help you with everything, from your CV to those interview questions.
Right. And this industry is always changing, so stay curious, be adaptable, never stop learning.
That's great advice. The people who embrace innovation are the ones who will succeed.
Awesome. Well, good luck with your interview. We're rooting for you.